Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to League One Match Week 2 post-games analysis. In this video, I am going to break down everything that happened on League One Match Week 2 from from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And in this same video, I am going to show you guys the top goal scorers after match week 2. In this same video, you guys are going to see how the League One table is already looking like after match week 2, and in this same video you guys are going to know the upcoming fixtures, that is League One match week 3 for this weekend. Guys, if you are watching this video on my YouTube channel for your very first time, I am just an upcoming football analyst, an upcoming football content creator, and I cannot do it without your support. So I will appreciate if you can hit the thumb up to this video, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you watch the video carefully till the end and tell me what you think about everything that I'm going to mention in this video. Now, let us take a look at all the games that were played on match week 2. The first game of match week 2 was a game of PSG, that's Paris Saint-Germain against Angers, the Ligue 1 champions, the European champions, and they won the game 1-0 thanks to a goal from Fabian Ruiz, right? I know many people will be asking, why is it that Paris Saint-Germain is not scoring goals yet? Because the first League 1 game of the season, of which they played last weekend, was played, and that game ended 1-0. They won the game against Nantes 1-0, and that goal was scored by Vitinha. That was League 1 match week 1. Then League 1 match week 2, PSG still won a game 1-0 thanks to another goal from a midfielder again, Fabian Ruiz. People will be asking, where is Ousmane Dembele? Where is Deredue? Where is Bakola? And where is Kvaratskhelia? All of these guys are going to score. You guys should just be patient. But when you take a look at the game, right, discover that PSG, on their first game, they were actually dominant. Yes, in terms of ball position, big chances created, they were dominant. In the second game, ball position, big chances created, they were still dominant. And they end up winning the game. So PSG is now having 6 points out of 6, right? And when we take a look at the games that were played on Saturday, discover that the first game that was played on Saturday was the game between Lyon and Metz, where Lyon won the game 3-0. The second game that was played on that Saturday was the game of Nice against Uze. Nice won the game 3-1, and the last game that was played on that Saturday was the game of Marseille against Paris FC, where Marseille won the game 5-2. Yes, in that game, Aubameyang made his home debut again with Marseille for his second time. He scored 2 goals in that game against Paris FC. So when you take a look at all these games, right, discover that the highest scoring game was that of Marseille against Paris FC, because 7 goals were scored in that game. Now, let us take a look at the games that took place on Sunday. The first game that was played on Sunday was a game of Lorient against Reims, where 2 Reims players were actually sent off. A player was sent off around the 7 minute, and around the 11 minute, another player was actually sent off. And at the end of the day, Lorient won the game 4-0. Remember, Reims won their first game of the season against Marseille with just 10 men. So 3 Reims players have already been sent off just after match day 2. The first game against Marseille, one of their players was actually sent off. The second game against Lorient, which was played on Sunday, 2 of their players were sent off. Now, when you take a look at the second game that took place on that Sunday, was the game between Strasbourg and Nantes. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Strasbourg. So Nantes is still having 0 points, because the first game of the season, they suffered a defeat to PSG 1-0, and the second game of the season against Strasbourg, they suffered another defeat 1-0. The third game that was played on that Sunday was the game of Toulouse against Brest, where Toulouse won the game 2-0. And the fourth game that was played on that same Sunday was the game between Le Havre against Lens, where Lens won the game 2-1. And now the final game of Sunday, which was the game of Lille against AS Monaco, the game ended 1-0 in favor of Lille. Now, the funniest thing in this Lille Monaco game was that it was Olivier Giroud who scored a goal in this game, the oldest player in the history of Lille. So Olivier Giroud becomes the oldest player in the history of Lille to score a goal, the oldest goal scorer in the history of Lille at the age of 38 years. Now, when you take a look at this game, right, he scored the goal around 90 plus 3 minutes. Yes, the time was already over. It was just left now for the central referee to blow the whistle and take and call off the game. And the guy scored the goal and gave Lille all the 3 points in this game. Even the first league game of the season, Olivier Giroud scored a goal. Now, when we take a look at League 1 table after match week 2, remember match week 1 passed, match week 2, and now we're heading up to match week 3. When we take a look at the League 1 table after match week 2, you discover that Lyon is still at the top of League 1 table after match week 2 with 6 points, 6 out of 6. There is Toulouse with 6 points, also 6 out of 6. PSG with 6 points, 6 out of 6. Strasbourg with 6 points, 6 out of 6. And Lille with 4 points out of 6 because they won their game against AS Monaco and they shared points on Ligue 1 Matchday 1. Now, the sixth position is occupied by Lorient. They won their first game of the season against Lens. We have against Reims. Yes, Lorient won their first game of the season against Reims. Now, Marseille with 3 points out of 6 because they lost their first game of the season to Reims. Then there is Monaco, 3 points out of 6 because they lost their second game of the season to Lille. There is Nice occupying the 9th spot with 3 points out of 6. There is Lens with 3 points out of 6. And when you go to 11th spot, you see Angers with 3 points out of 6. There is Auxerre with 3 points out of 6. There is Reims now occupying the 13th spot with 3 points out of 6 because they won their first league game of the season to Marseille and lost their second league game of the season to Lorient. Now, the 14th spot is occupied by Brest with just 1 point. So Brest is the only club with 1 point here. Brest is having 1 point. We have Nantes with 0 point. We have Le Havre with 0 point. We have Paris FC with 0 point. I also have Metz with 0 point. Now, who were the top goal scorers after match week 2? Match week 1 pass, match week 2. Now we're headed off to match week 3. Now let us take a look at the top goal scorer. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is the League 1 top goal scorer after match week 2. So if the league were to end at this point in time, Aubameyang is going to be awarded the Golden Boot. That's the League 1 Golden Boot. He scored 2 goals, and all of those 2 goals were scored against Paris FC. We have Doumbia, who scored 2 goals also. He's among the top goal scorers with 2 goals. Olivier Giroud, 2 goals. Olivier Giroud scored in their first game and scored again in the second game of this. We have Franck Magri with 2 goals also for Toulouse. We have Sinayoko with 2 goals. For Auxerre, we have Mason Greenwood with 1 goal, 2 assists. So Mason Greenwood is the only League 1 player with 3 goals contribution so far after match week 1. So the season is still going to be long. Remember, I think League 1 is made up of 36 games. So 2 out of 36, 34 games are left to go to the end of the season. Now, when we take a look at the upcoming fixtures, that's match week 3, Friday fixtures, Saturday's fixtures, and Sunday's fixtures. When you take a look at the games, one game is going to be played on Friday, which is the game of Lens against Brest. This game is going to be played on Friday. It is going to be a difficult game for both clubs. Lens is a club that have been competing in European competitions. Brest is a club that have also been competing in European competitions. Even last season, Brest competed in the UEFA Champions League. So it is going to be a tough game for both clubs. Lens won their last game. So it is still going to be a tough game for both clubs. Now, the game of Lorient against Lille. Remember, Lorient is having 3 points. Lille is having 4 points. Now, in this particular game, they will be fighting not to share points, but one club will be fighting to go back with the 3 points because if Lorient win the game, they are going to be having now 6 points. And if Lille wins the game, they are going to be having 7 points. So it is going to be a tough and a balanced game between the two clubs. But the game is somehow going to be in favor of Lorient because of home advantage. Now, the second game that is going to be played on Saturday is going to be that of Nantes against Auxerre. These two clubs are actually struggling after match week 2. There is the game of Toulouse against PSG. These two clubs are still to lose. I think Toulouse is still to suffer a defeat. Yes, they are still to suffer a defeat. Though they having, I think they have 4 points out of 6. There is PSG with 6 points out of 6. So PSG is going to be playing this game away from home, and they will do all they can to get all the 3 points. And to me, this game is highly in favor of PSG. There's a game of Angers against Reims, which is another game for Reims to see if they can grab the 3 points. Remember, they won their first game against Marseille. The second game against Lorient, 2 of their players were sent off. So at the end of the day, they suffered a defeat, 4 goals to 0. They will see if they can grab points against Angers on Saturday. Now, on Sunday, that's the first game that is going to be played on Sunday. Now, the second game on Sunday is going to be that of AS Monaco against Strasbourg. AS Monaco is going to be playing this game at home with a home advantage. Remember, they lost the second game of the season against Lille, 1 goal to 0. So AS Monaco will try to bounce back from this game. Now, the third game on Sunday is going to be that of Paris FC against Metz. Remember, Paris FC suffered a defeat to Marseille, 5 goals to 2. And in this game, they'll try to see if they can get a comeback. Metz also suffered a defeat to Lyon. So it is going to be a balanced game for the two clubs because match day 2 did not actually go well for them. The game is somehow going to be balanced, but Paris FC is going to be having a home advantage in this game. There is the game of Le Havre against Nice, which is which is actually the fourth game that's going to be played on Sunday. Another balanced game because these two clubs are almost at the same place on the Ligue 1 table. The final game of the day is that of Lyon against Marseille. Yes, this is actually Ligue 1 DB. The reason why I'm saying it is going to be somehow tough is because when you take a look at Ligue 1 table, Lyon is already still at the top of the Ligue 1 table with 6 points, 6 out of 6. This game they are going to be playing at home, the game against Marseille, is going to be at home, so they will try to see if they can grab all the 3 points and sit again at the top of the Ligue 1 table. Remember, these are the clubs that want to compete with PSG for the league title this season, and sit at the top of the table is already as an advantage. And playing a game against Marseille again in front of your fans, playing a game at home against Marseille is of double advantage to you. So the game is going to be a tough game for Lyon and also a tough game for Marseille, because Marseille actually lost their first game of the season, won the second game of the season, so they have 3 points out of 6. Lyon is having 6 points out of 6, and in this game Marseille will be trying to see if they can grab all the 3 points and contain the same points as Lyon, and Lyon will also be trying to see if they can get all the 3 points. But if I am to predict all these 9 games that are going to be played this weekend, right, the game between Lens and Brest, I'm going to give both teams to score in this game. The game is somehow balanced, so I don't know who is going to win the game, but I have a feeling that both teams are going to score. Lorient against Lille. Lorient is playing this game at home, but I will still give Lille a win because they're in good shape. The game of Nantes against Auxerre, it is a balanced game. Toulouse against PSG, I'll give PSG an easy win in this game. Angers against Reims, I'll give Reims a win in this game, because when you take a look at the first game of the season against Marseille, despite one man down, they still won the game against Marseille 1-0, and the game they played this weekend against Lorient, 2 of their men were actually down, but they still fought till the last minute, considered just 4 goals despite playing for more than 80 minutes with just 9 men. So I will give Reims a win over Angers. Monaco against Strasbourg, I will give Monaco a win in this game because they'll be trying to see if they can grab the second 3 points of the season. Paris FC against Metz, I will give Paris FC a win. They play the game at home advantage. Le Havre against Nice, it is going to be a balanced game, and the final game is that of Lyon against Marseille. I cannot predict this one. Can someone give me the predictions for this game between Lyon and Marseille down in the comment section? Guys, I've come to the end of this video, and if this is the first time you are coming across my YouTube channel, like I said at the start of the video, I would appreciate if you can hit a thumb up to the video, you drop at least a comment down in the comment section, you subscribe to this YouTube channel, you turn on the notification bell, and most importantly, you share the video to 2 to 3 persons, because I will be posting day in, day out, and I cannot do it without your support. See you guys on to my next video.